We're going to start with going through some basic exercises in Pilates. If you haven't done Pilates before, or you done a lot of exercise, but you still just want to go straight into it, but not going through the gentle routine. So I'm going to start first with finding a C curve in the spine. So sitting up nice and tall, we start tucking slightly under without collapsing the spine. So I'm just going to roll back, and you feel, yeah, I can hold my hands here, I'm fine. Then you go a bit further, and then we lift back up again. So this is a warm-up routine for everybody who's got, no tight backs, hips are fine, and we're just starting to warm up the stomach muscles, taking the spine into a C curve, a little bit further, maybe if you feel, yeah, I'm good here, and then the arms become weights. So I'm going to go all the way down. I'm going to leave my arms in front. I'm going to push the arms up, press from the sides, chest over hips, and then roll back again. Side down, going into floor, shoulders and head. Lift up, press from the side, head over shoulders, shoulders over chest, and lift up. Okay, a couple more. So rolling into floor, press from the side, lift up, roll up. Decide where your feet are going to be because it makes a difference. So feet further away, feet closer. And then one more time, lifting up, head over chest, chest over shoulders, and up, all seated. And then start moving sideways and lift. Sideways, oblique muscles. So we start warming them up, adding a bit of core, bit of center, lift up again. And the other side. So open, return. And lift. Couple more, lift, and now comes the different position of the knees and feet. So I'm going to let the body fold forward in towards the feet and then lift back up again. So fold forward and then lift back up again. If you feel like, yeah, this is a good one to stretch inner thighs, bring your feet closer, hold on to those feet and let the chest and head come down. So we do an inner thigh stretch. Coming on to 4-point, warming up the spine here too. So we bring the knees and feet round. I'm going straight for some movement of the back. So cat, great exercise to warm up. So I'm going to lift into the back and then come back into neutral. So I do a lot of tutorials in classes. So if you're not really sure about your cat movements, then please join my tutorials. So this is just to free up the back tailbone, stomach muscles, rib cage, head comes down. And then back again. Now getting a bit of weight into this exercise. So toes under, line up the hands underneath the shoulders, soft elbows, lift the knees. We stay here for 2 breaths. Breathing in, breathe out. Breath in, press the fingertips into the floor, thumbs and little fingers. Lift the hip up, we stretch the back of the legs into downward dog. Walk the knees, pushing back. Just getting that nice stretch in the back of the legs. And then press the chest closer towards your knees if this feels, yeah, I like this exercise. And then come forward, we go into plank. So placing the hands further forward, you can take the knees down, you can come from the floor again. I'm coming from here, lifting up, soft elbows, stomach muscles active, keep your hands on the floor, you don't have to lift. And then stay there for 2 breaths, breathing in, breathe out. Letting the feet stay in parallel and then head and chest in line. Good. We're lifting back up again. We're taking one knee forward, second knee, come into seated, slide the hands up and lift the arms up. And then take the arms back down. So a bit of shoulder work, freeing up your shoulders. And then sideways as well. So lift into your side and the other side. Opening up the hips. And then we go straight for core, classical series of core exercises. 100s, single leg stretch, and then adding a leg circle too. So 100s, coming into seated. I'm going to come into 100s from a seated position rather than coming from the floor. So I'm going to just roll into my shoulders and then find a position where I can keep the head and shoulders off the floor. The arms are stretched out, pressing down, sliding the foot in, connecting to the center, slide the second foot in, and then start pulsing the arms in towards the floor. For next, hand behind the head, lift yourself, wiggle, wiggle. You can see I'm in what's called an imprint, which is pushing the back a bit more to the floor. Separating the knees is space, but the heels are softly touching. So pressing up and down. For those that feel, yeah, I like this one, you push your legs out from the back of the thighs, keep pulsing down. Lower for harder. Keep connecting. Breathing in, breathing out. Breath in, breathing out. Good, higher for easier. Find your connection. Bend your knees, lighter. 2 more. Good. And then we wrap everything in. Head and shoulders down. Relax around the neck. Single leg stretch. So we take the feet down and then we bring them up again, now in neutral. So back, connecting from the top, and then hold the hands to the knees. Again, separate the knees. Lift the head and shoulders. Pull the knee in. And then stretch the other leg out. So the full version has got a push and a pull. Can be modified lots of different ways. Stretch out, elbows out, hand onto the ankle if you want to add more. Keep going, 2 more. And now comes the leg circle. We're going to add that in. So we're going to lift the leg up and then place the head and shoulders down. Drop the rib cage and the hips, arms down. And then start to stir into your hip. So I don't go too quick. See, I'm doing a kick, but not too quick. So if it feels tight and your hip flexors, yep, feel a lot of weight in there. Decide on the pace. I'm using my stomach muscles, pushing up towards the face, round, lift. So very active through the core, through the center. Change directions, so lift up, push round the side on the width of the circle 2. Listen to your hip. Push out to the side for 3, for 2, for 1, and then we're going to change. So we lift and stretch, push the heel, and then bring the other leg up and then stretch up towards the ceiling again. Pressing the bottom leg down, we turn the top leg slightly out and we start the circle again, lifting up in towards the face. Push up. Let's do 5 or 6 here. Lifting up slow, push up, use your abdominal muscles, and then change the direction. So we lift up, decide how big the circle is going to be, and lift for 3. Lift for 2, lift for 1, and then bring the leg up, flex, woo, hello hip flexors, lift, pressing into floor, and then bring the knee back in towards your chest. Bring the second knee in, we come into crisscross, so I'm going to take the feet down, hands behind the head, and get in the lift of the spine, so starting with your curl up, and see where you end up. So head and shoulders in a good position. The spine will change slightly, trying to not use your hip flexors, getting the turn so we get the crisscross feeling. If this is enough, you stay with this one. I'm going to add the legs. So we lift the legs. 1, breathe out, turn the stomach muscles on, shoulders stay soft. Lift the second one, bring them a bit closer, hands behind the head, lift the head and shoulders. We're going to rotate opposite elbow to knee or chest to knee and turn. And then change. And change. You can see I'm doing slow. Slow is harder. Sliding that inside foot on the inside of the other leg without touching. And then rotating at the same time. Adding obliques and stomach muscles. So I'm not dropping out of it. I'm staying high. And I'm stretching that toes out without getting a cramp. 4. Change. 3, change, good, and then bring those knees in towards the chest. We go straight for hips and legs, so your glute muscles, lifting the hip off the floor, adding with a squeeze, find your height, wiggle about a bit, get those elbows in the right position, drop the rib cage slightly. And let's see if we can feel the glute muscles carry from the bottom up and open up the front of the hip. Arms can stretch out. We can keep them soft, elbows, shoulders and palms, so we can stretch them and then push the little fingers towards the toes. Hold it for 1 more breath. Breathe in, breathe out, soften that chest. Check your feet are connecting, and then we're taking the hip back down again and then start lifting from there. So tap, squeeze, lift. Lots of modifications again for anyone with tight backs and hips. So please check out my tutorials and other gentle classes and all levels. This is a bigger workout. So we go straight for squeeze, push up, check the spine and hip, pushing up for 5, 4, 3, 2 more, and then we come into one-sided. So take the hip down, check where you are, lifting one leg is going to go straight up. So we push up from the hamstring and glute muscle, check your height, and then we lift the leg straight up. We're going to hold it, hold, and then bend the knee, and then taking the hip down. Same on the other side. Find your height, lift up, stabilize, wiggle about if you need to, and then take the arms into the floor, straight the toes, push into the heel, lift up, hold. I know. And then taking the foot down, and then taking the hip back down again. Now comes the pulse up and down. So you can decide if you want to have your knee bent or stretching it up. So I'm keeping the knee bent for this one, just focusing on that hip stability. So I'm going to tap, down, lift, tap, lift, tap, lift. So now there's a squeeze off the muscle. So if you want to, you can stretch the leg up as well. And then tap, lift, chest and hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Good. Take it down. Bring the foot down. Shake it out a bit. Change sides. So again, you can keep the knee bent. Check your hamstrings now. And then we press into the floor. We lift up. And then we tap down. Lift. Tap. Lift. And if you want to, stretch the leg up. And see if you can do the same. Let's do 5, 4, 3, and come into a stretch. 2, 1, hold, stay. And then hip down. And then we go to stretch. Figure 4, lifting up, pulling the knees in towards your chest, or bring your head up or just have a block under your head. So I'm going to bring it closer. Bring the legs closer. Spread the elbows out to the side and just bring them a bit closer. And then comes the leg stretch here, so we can hold back the leg. Slowly, toes up, toes down. And then change side. So the other foot onto the knee, hands go in between, behind the leg. Lift in towards your chest. Hold it. Lift the leg up, flex the ankle. And hold it so you can feel the stretch on the back of the leg. Relax the tailbone. And then come back out of it. So we take the spine to the side. You can lift up fully if you want to. Let's do this. Let's try. Stomach muscles in. Arms go up. Arms go back. Lift up. Head over chest. Chest over stomach. Are we here? Yes. Press and the sit bones slide together. Lift up through the spine. Lift up high. And then we reach forward. Down towards the toes. Good. Coming into arm strength, so we turn on to the side, into your side plank or side position. Again, lots of variations. So I'm going to a harder exercise. You can make it lighter by keeping the knees bent. Lining everything up, soft through the shoulder blade, pushing up, 1 and 2, and then stay for a moment. Just thinking about the weight coming from here, lifting up the support from here. Hand onto your hip, hand behind the head, you pick, or even the arm coming up, pressing the outside of the bottom foot, the inside of the top foot into the floor, and we stay without collapse. Breath in, breath out. Good, coming back, taking the hip into the floor. So now comes the lift and lowers. So you could be here, or you can stretch the legs out on top of each other. I'm going to split them. So I'm lifting up, bit of connection through there. Lift the hip, press down. Lift, press down. 3 more. Lift, soft shoulder. Good. Lift up, last one. lift and hold, stretch if you want to, and then place the hip down, bend your knees into your mermaid, lift up, and then reach the arm over. Legs in front if it feels too tight to be into your mermaid position, and blocks and cushions as well can help. So we open aside, lift up, reach, lift up, reach, all the way from the sit bones. Okay, swivel around and we change to the other side. So again, pick your start position, and if you prefer to have your knees bent or straight. Okay, so we do that again. So we're stretching out oblique muscles, stomach muscles, shoulder blades in good position, testing the range of and strength and holding. Breathing in, breathe out. The lift is from here, not hanging from here. The arm can go up, can be behind, or lift up or stretch. One more breath, breathing in, breathe out. Good, and then taking the hip down. Again, you can bend your knees if you want to here. I'm going to lift up and down. So we push up and then press down. Lift, press down, lift. Let's do 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Hold, stay, lift the arm, lift higher. Good, and then come in into your mermaid, slide the knees, and then lift the arm. Push over. And reach. Good, one more. And then coming into your cobra. So cobra with leg lifts. Pushing your hips in position. Stretch out the arm. Turn onto the front. Bring the hands in. Wiggle about a bit. Find your space. And think about, okay, are your hips and spine in a good position? Legs closer together. Arms out to the side. And then start lifting up head, chest, elbows into your cobra, and then come down again. So hands just above your shoulders, and it's not an arm press, so your elbows float with the hips. Maybe pressing the sit bones together and the inner thighs closer. That will support your back and discs. And then come down into the floor. Head and chest peeling off the floor, elbows, hips. And then come down. Okay, now comes the trickier exercises, which is adding the legs. So you can do one leg lifts, alternating, or both legs, squeezing up and down, or join me for cobra with leg lifts. So upper body is going up, and then we come down, and we're going to lift the legs. Legs go down, lift the upper body, breathe in, breathe out. Breath in, breathe out. Breath in, resist and move. 2 more, breath in, breathe out. Keeping that squeeze, inner thighs, sit bones. And then we come back out of it, lift. So support from your forearms, pressing up, stomach muscles. You can come into a plank or half plank. Breathe in, breathe out, lift, half plank. Push yourself back towards your heels, sit back and let the arms stretch out. Wiggle about around your hips, fingers work further forward, and then we slide the hands in. We push into arm presses. So pressing with the little finger and the thumb, pressing in. Just get your lift first, which is your palms coming off the floor. So lift up, press down slow. Lift up, press down slow. So you should feel your forearms are starting to activate a bit more. We can change position, fingers slightly in, and then fingers out, and then fingers in, and then test. Okay, forearms are active. Now coming into half or full plank, pushing hips forward, glide up, tucking a little bit, but more from the top, bottom up, rather than tucking the tailbone. And then we press down, lift up. So knees underneath hips, easier. That's drinking for water. Harder, pressing into your plank position. Let's do 3. Press up. Whew. Long drives. Whew. One more time. Squeeze the stomach muscles up. Good. And then we come into a stretch. We're going to come forward onto elbows. So pressing the elbows down, now comes the planks with legs. So scooping the stomach muscles, toes under. Find your height, so hips slightly lower your shoulders, and then we push up with the toes under. Now the knees are going to tap, so tapping down, squeeze, lift in the back of the leg, tap, squeeze, tap, squeeze. So active through your core, through your center, keeping everything stable, and just press down. Tap, stretch. Your toes will bend more than mine. I don't have bendy toes, so my toes are on the top. Yours will be more bent, hopefully. Good, and we hold. We lift the hip up, head in towards the elbows. One knee in, second knee in, and then bring yourself back into a seated position. Coming back into that plank, but now stepping out. So we press the hands underneath the shoulders again, push the knees away, bringing that hip forward, curling under, stomach muscles wrapping in from the sides, coming onto elbows, 1 and 2, and again stepping into that long plank. One leg pushes back, second leg pushes back. Now step out, step together, out, step together, out, step together, and together. 2 more. So if you have toes that bend, you might have a slightly quicker pace than I do. Hold it, hold it. Yes, yes, yes. Lift up, one knee in, second knee in, and then come back into seated. So push into those feet in the opposite direction. Woo! Now comes the stretches. So coming onto the side, first we do arm openings. So placing yourself sideways, arms in front, block is behind your head, and knees and feet in line. And then trying to find a bit of lift to your oblique muscle. Lift the arm, and then open the chest into your rotation. Bringing the arm and chest back, and fingers down. So we lift and open the chest. So you can see I'm keeping my knees and feet together, like I'm sitting on a chair, and then rotating around the shoulder and around the spine. So the arm is lifting first, the shoulder stays still, and then the spine is turning. Bring the arm and chest back, and fingers down, circle. We lift the arm, we stir the circle into the shoulder girdle. Bottom shoulder is getting a massage, and the top one is just moving around. So open the chest, and then change directions. So we go round, lift, open, and then come back. Just nice freedom around your shoulder. Lift, open, and then come back again. Turn away from me or turn with me. So I'm pushing up, and then bringing myself onto the other side. Check you got space behind you to move your arm. And again, feet and knees stacked, arms reaching forward. Block is behind you, shoulders on top of each other. And then lift the arm, and then rotate. So I'm using my stomach muscles here. There's a bit of squeeze to keep the position of the hips and spine. And I don't know if you can see, but I got my rib cage lifted, so my hips are stacked completely rather than sinking the bottom rib cage down into the floor. So if you can, and down, lift up, breathe out, open the chest, and then come back. Circles, lift the arm, stir round into the shoulder girdle, and then come back again. Lift, open, and then come back. And then we change directions. So this is a balance between all the muscles in your shoulder girdle, and just a great way of getting freedom to move in the golf swing. And ooh, love the sunshine. Open, reach, come back, and then we push ourselves up again, and just getting for the stretches around the legs and hips. Starting first in your plank position, because we're going to walk the feet. So we push the feet out and just walk them, getting a bit more stretch on the back of the legs. Again, you can be on your elbows, and then push back, walking, walking. Good, and then bringing one knee in, if that's a good position for you. One leg is going to be away, and then we lift up, so stretches the front of the back hip, and then come back down, toes under, lift, step out, down a knee in front, stretch out the leg, lift up until you feel okay to stretch in there if your knee is fine with this, and then come back, lift toes under, step back, and then we're coming into pigeon pose, which is a knee turned like this. So I'm going to bring the knees down, and then we're going to bring the foot in and the knee out to the side. So now it becomes a glute stretch. Check that you have space. And then we come down onto the floor. So elbows, chest, nose down. This doesn't work for you. You can also turn onto your back and do the same stretch we did before, which is figure 4. Foot onto the opposite knee and lift the legs off the floor. And then we lift up and we change. So pushing that leg back. Can do a bit of hinge. Slide the foot in between and the knee. Stretch out, knees out to the side, elbows out, hip is squared. And again, coming down onto the floor. Relax your shoulders and relax the spine as the head sinks down into your fingers and the back of the hands. We lift up again, push up, pushing the leg away. Good, and just come back into seated. Side reaches and lengthen out in the side, pushing down. Well done. Good, interlace the fingers. Press them away, lift a bit higher. If it's okay with the fingers here, otherwise separate them. Lift. And release the fingers.